Hey there, it's another beautiful day. Let's watch some stuff.
Receive modules, and this antenna can detect an object the size of a baseball at a range of 2,500 miles. That is why I say this thing can project all that power into a pinpoint beam, totally computer controlled. The dome is 120 foot diameter. The power source is 3.6 megawatt generators for a total of almost 22 megawatts. And this HARP platform has a tow ship to move it around. So that 22 megawatts is not actually designed to go into the engines. That is designed to go into the transmitter unit. Other U.S. Navy ships have powerful microwave transmitters. This is the U.S. Navy ship Howard O. Lorenzen. It looks small, but it's actually 534 feet long. Each phased array, the boxes on the top of the deck, is a phased array transmitter, synthetic aperture radar, whatever you want to call it, weighs 250 tons, and there's a crew of 88 on board. This is a gigantic ionospheric heater again.
These HARP stations are everywhere, all over the whole planet, and now they have a mobile HARP station. Why? I don't know. But these things have been attributed to a lot of weather modification because they beam like microwaves into the ionosphere, which changes the temperature, which alters basically everything that's happening up in the sky. As far as the one on the boat, it's radar as far as I know, but I understand how that's being said. It is also that kind of a device because of the resonant frequency that it emits. At least that's what I think.
You know what, commenter? You're right. That had actually slipped my mind. That is indeed how the United States was able to weaponize the weather. For anyone that's confused, let me explain. Unlike the utilization of Agent Orange, which was supposed to destroy foliage, Operation Popeye in Vietnam was a plan to specifically use the Vietnamese weather against itself. Thousands of cloud-seeding sorties were run specifically with the purpose of creating more rain. By doing this repeatedly towards the end of monsoon season, what you ended up seeing was monsoon season being extended. This being a time period of heavy torrential rainfall that was going to inhibit any kind of enemy troop movements during that time, particularly ones that didn't have nearly as much in the way of mechanization, so they relied far more on simple foot travel, which you try doing through mud, in the rainforest, while people are shitting at you. So when you combine that with the use of Agent Orange, which destroyed half of the mangroves in Vietnam, which made monsoons even worse, you have a really bad mixture.
The weather modification has been in use for quite a while. I actually got a comment, thank you so much, that weather modification was being used as early as the 1800s. So I'm gonna look around and see if I can't find some information, and if I do, I'll bring it to you. Hey, thanks so much for stopping by today. If there's a topic you'd like me to cover, let me know down in the comments and I'll do my best to get it in an upcoming video. If you're having a good time, please hit that like button and consider subscribing, and then come back tomorrow because I'm making a new video every day.
Guys, these shipping containers are really starting to get out of hand, and people in my community are very scared. You guys have already seen these shipping containers being unloaded. There's military equipment being brought into a small town in Northern Virginia. In my own community, I shouldn't have to sneak around to show people the truth of what's going on. But here I am, sneaking around. And this is where the cops hide out, and they're loading stuff into this building too that they say is just an abandoned commercial space. Well, let me tell you, it's not too abandoned when they're loading military gear in there. And you can't make it up. They're showing up right now to kick me out away from this container.
I did crazy digging, and the only other place that I can find anything about these containers was over on X. And it was just this guy's video reposted over there, and people are still saying all the same things. You know, oh, what is it? Where are you? Blah, 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 blah. He finally said where he is, and he's in Northern Virginia. He said that he had posted this before, and I went back 2 years on his TikTok, and I could find nothing else about this. These particular cans, it's actually just one. He's videoing himself in front of the same container every single time because there's distinguishing marks. He just flips the picture to make it look like it's a different one, but it's the same container every single time. So I have lots of notes. I did a lot of note taking. This is what I found out. So these are APL. All right, that's who owns that logo. That's American President Lines, and they name their ships after presidents. So they've been doing transport for the United States government since World War I. They do have some military transport, so that's not unheard of that there might be some military equipment in there. But a lot of the time, they're mostly humanitarian. So they take food and supplies and stuff like that to countries that need it. What else? People are saying that these are connected to the election year somehow and that they're stuffed with ballots for Biden, which is interesting. APC is also on one of the doors on the front side. APC also stands for American President Companies Shipping Lines. Now, this company has shipped materials for the military, like I said, but he said they were taking stuff out of them, like helicopters and all of these other things and equipment, and putting them into that little building over there. It doesn't seem right. Plus, he's talking about how, hey, I can't get close to this, yet he's standing right there on multiple occasions. And if it was military, it would be guarded very heavily by the military around the clock. So I'm going to chalk this up to this guy's just trying to make some headway. He's looking for attention and he's getting it. And since he says that they were taking stuff out of it, I don't think it's one of these.
Check out this stealthy missile container that looks just like any regular shipping container, but hides a powerful secret weapon inside. This ingenious design allows it to be placed on trains, trucks, or even cargo ships, blending in perfectly with its surroundings to avoid detection. This container is capable of deploying advanced cruise missiles like the 3M54KE or the anti-ship KH-35 UE, making it a formidable tool in modern warfare. The system also includes drones and a control center for precise operations. Once the attack command is issued, missiles slowly emerge and launch with a roar, catching enemy fleets off guard under the cover of nearby islands. Even aircraft carriers might struggle to withstand such a concentrated assault, potentially leaving them with significant damage. The truck version of this container system is equally effective. It can sneak up near enemy bases and launch missiles without warning, targeting strategic points simultaneously. By the time the enemy realizes what's happening, it might be too late, with planes and radar systems already destroyed.
So while those missile systems are an actual thing, I don't think they're going to put them in a marked can, specifically not with one that is so well known. I mean, not well known enough that I knew what it was right off the bat, but well known enough that a couple minutes of searching and you can find it. So
the House Homeland Security Committee released documents that identified over 45 airport locations that were used by President Biden to secretly fly over 400,000 illegal immigrants into our country. These documents, which the Biden administration only turned over under subpoena, show that Secretary Mayorkas and President Biden have been transporting illegal immigrants into communities across the United States. It is clear that President Biden is using our regional airports to spread this crisis and effectively make each and every state a border state. The American people cannot afford to have a Homeland Security secretary that fails to keep America safe. And Pennsylvania families cannot afford a president who cares more about illegal immigrants than about the American people.
does that piss you off? Because it sure as heck is pissing me off. What the heck? Like, they had to subpoena these records of him bringing almost 500,000 people illegally into our country and just planting them about? Here you go. I guess if you spread them out, it'll be fine, right? And then you can get those votes. It's about the votes. Watch this.
There's even a bigger influx now in terms of Hispanic voters, very Hispanic citizens who want to become citizens.
So was that a Freudian slip? Or what?
And by the way, you notice you fly over in a helicopter, those places with roofs, they didn't do it. It's the right material. Yeah. So we got to change that. Anyway. We're going to cut some trees. We're moving people up and down.
What was that now?
So Chile suffered from a wildfire a couple of days ago, right? Everyone technically lost their homes, cars, everything. But somebody took a video that was very questionable. And I'm gonna play it right now. And you guys let me know what you think about this.
¿Será verdad la teoría de la casa azul?
Now, look, I'm not one to believe in coincidences, right? I believe everything happens by design. How many coincidences until it's mathematically impossible? Do you get what I'm saying? So, I don't know, guys. Like, this is a very interesting occurrence. The house was barely touched, okay? Everything around it demolished, burned to ashes. But somehow it managed to stand still. Now, I'm sure some of you remember this video, right? I'm not gonna go into it too much. It's pretty self-explanatory. I don't know how many people seen that video, but yeah, that's a strange coincidence, if you know what I'm saying. So let me know what you guys think about this, because yeah, I need to hear some opinions.
So we talked about this a little bit a few days ago, and it is awfully interesting how these blue houses or these buildings with blue roofs are just like left alone. So now people are out and they're painting their roofs blue and they're covering their roofs with everything. And you see all those videos of, oh, look at all of these blue roofs. And then I found this. So I hadn't heard of this green beam project before, and I did a little bit of looking into it. So it's a direct energy weapon, like it says right there, but I guess there's like satellites and stuff out in space that have this technology, and they can just target an area and light it up. And that's what a lot of people think happened in Maui with the Maui fires and Chile, right? And that's why all of these people are like, we need blue roofs, because the laser apparently doesn't do anything to blue. But this isn't new technology. This is just advanced technology. We have had direct energy weapons for hundreds of years.
Direct energy weapons. They've been around for a very long time. There was a time when the magnifying glass was one of the most deadliest weapons on this earth. If you ever come across this weapon, guaranteed, brother, somebody's getting smoked. This weapon was very simple to use, but the results was deadly. All you needed was the rays from the sun, a giant magnifying glass, and guaranteed somebody's getting slewed. This is somebody using that same method in modern day times. The heat from the sun would be amplified so much that it would melt solid stone. Oh my diddy. So this is another reason why we see all of these melted ruins all over the world.
So we've had years to perfect this technology. Granted, it's a completely different application because back then we weren't in space. And I do this because some people think that we're not in space now, and some people think that we were in space back then. So choose your poison. I mean, it has to be that they're coming from outer space, right? Satellites out there with this technology, because how else would they beam the beam down? I mean, that's just where I think it is. So when I put these videos together in this particular sequence, it makes everything seem possible, right? I'll leave that one with you. I'm gonna call it for today. Thank you so much for sharing your time with me. Come on back tomorrow. We'll watch different stuff. I'm gonna say some new things, and it's gonna be fantastic. Until then, have a wonderful day.